Hello everyone, and welcome back. Manchester United 2, AC Milan 4. And this one hurts a little more because of who was standing on the opposite touchline. Ruben Amorim. The former Manchester United manager came back, faced his old club, and watched his Milan side put 4 goals past Michael Carrick's team. Now yes, it was a preseason game, but the biggest concern is not the result. It is the way Manchester United lost control after taking the lead twice. They went 1-0 up. They were pulled back. They went 2-1 up. And then they conceded 3 goals and lost 4-2. That is the real problem. And if Carrick needed a tactical warning before the Premier League starts, Amorim just gave him one in the loudest possible way. Let's break it all down. Manchester United actually started very well. They pressed high. They played with energy. They moved the ball quickly. And Harry Maguire gave them the lead from a Bruno Fernandes corner. At that point, United looked sharp. The front line was aggressive. Ahmed was lively. Patrick Dorgu was pushing high on the left. And the midfield was trying to control the game through Yuri Tielemans and Andre Santos. For the first part of the game, the plan looked good. But then Milan started to find the spaces. And that is where the match changed. United's biggest issue was the distance between midfield and defense. When possession was lost, there was too much space to attack. Milan began moving the ball into wide areas and then playing inside. The back four were being pulled in different directions. And eventually, Samuel Chukwueze equalized. That was the first warning. But United still had a huge chance to take control again. They won a penalty. Bruno Fernandes stepped up. And he missed. Now I am not saying Bruno should be removed as penalty taker immediately. But this is becoming a conversation. Because when you miss penalties in preseason, it is easy to say it does not matter. When the Premier League starts, one missed penalty can cost you 2 points. So the next time Bruno walks towards the penalty spot, everybody will be watching. Then came the second half. Patrick Dorgu made it 2-1. And again, United were in front. Dorgu deserves a lot of credit. He was aggressive. He pressed well. He attacked space. He looked hungry. And when the opportunity came, he took it. For me, he was Manchester United's best player on the day. But then the game completely changed. Milan equalized. Then Gonzalo Ramos made it 3-2. Then Ruben Loftus-Cheek made it 4-2. From leading 2-1 to losing 4-2. That is not just bad defending. That is a total loss of control. And this is where we need to talk about Michael Carrick's system. Carrick started with a 4-2-3-1. Sen Lamens in goal. Nasser Mazraoui. Harry Maguire. Aiden Heaven. Luke Shaw. Tielemans and Santos in midfield. Ahmed on the right. Bruno in the number 10 role. Dorgu on the left. And Matheus Cunha up front. The idea was clear. Tielemans would help build the game. Santos would provide energy. Bruno would play higher. Dorgu and Ahmed would stretch Milan. And Cunha would move between the lines. There is nothing wrong with that idea. The problem came when United lost the ball. Tielemans is not a natural defensive midfielder. Santos has energy, but sometimes he is too aggressive and leaves his position. When both midfielders are bypassed, the defenders are exposed. And against an Amorim team, that is dangerous. Because his 3-4-2-1 system creates overloads in wide areas. The wingbacks push high. The 2 attacking midfielders move inside. The striker can drop. And suddenly the opposition has to make decisions very quickly. Do you step out? Do you stay? Do you follow the runner? Do you protect the space? Manchester United were not making those decisions together. One player stepped forward. Another dropped. Another stayed. And gaps appeared. That is exactly what Milan wanted. Amorim found the weakness, and he kept attacking the same area until United broke. The left side was a big problem. Dorgu was dangerous going forward. But when he pushed high, Luke Shaw was often left with too much space to defend. If the midfield did not cover quickly enough, Shaw was isolated. That is where the debate starts. Does Manchester United need another left back? Maybe. But for me, the bigger need could be a proper defensive midfielder. A player who understands space. A player who does not need to run everywhere. A player who knows when to hold position, when to press, when to foul, when to slow the game down. United had energy in midfield. What they did not have was control. And that is a massive difference. If Manchester United can sign only one more player, I would seriously consider a defensive midfielder before anything else. Now let's go through the players. Sen Lamens. I would give him 5 out of 10. He conceded 4 goals, but I do not think he was responsible for everything. The defense gave Milan too many good situations. He made some saves. His distribution was mixed. But overall, not a disaster. 5 out of 10. Nausser Mazraoui, 5 out of 10. He did not offer much going forward. Defensively, he had a lot of work to do. And when the game became stretched, he struggled to control the wide area. Not terrible, but not enough. 5 out of 10. Harry Maguire, 6 out of 10. He scored the opening goal. He was strong in the air. He started the game well. But once the midfield opened up, he had too much ground to defend. There were also communication problems in the backline. Still, I would not say Maguire was the biggest issue. 6 out of 10. Aiden Heaven. 5 out of 10. There were some good moments on the ball. He tried to step forward. But he was tested badly when Milan attacked the space between center-back and full-back. He is talented. But games like this show, he still has a lot to learn. 5 out of 10. Luke Shaw. 4.5 out of 10. This was difficult. He was overloaded. He did not get enough protection. But his recovery speed and one-on-one defending were still worrying. The left side of United's defense looked vulnerable. 4.5 out of 10. Andre Santos, 5 out of 10. Plenty of energy. Plenty of running. But sometimes too much running. He wanted to help everywhere. And when you leave your position too often, someone has to cover the space behind you. That did not always happen. 5 out of 10. Yuri Tielemans. 6 out of 10. I liked him on the ball. He helped United move through pressure. He switched play well. He was comfortable receiving possession. But this game also showed that he needs protection. If you ask Tielemans to do too much defensive work, you lose what makes him special. 6 out of 10. Amad Diallo. 5.5 out of 10. Started brightly. Pressed well. Looked dangerous early. But then he faded out of the game. I want to see him receiving the ball closer to the penalty area, because that is where he can really hurt teams. 5.5 out of 10. Bruno Fernandes. 5 out of 10. He created the first goal from a corner, but the missed penalty was a big moment. And he was not able to control the match once Milan started taking over. Bruno is still the leader, still the most important creator, but he needs to be more decisive. 5 out of 10. Patrick Dorgu, 8 out of 10. Manchester United's best player. Energy, aggression, pressing, direct running, and a goal. He looked like a player with something to prove. If he keeps playing like that, he gives Carrick a serious selection decision. 8 out of 10. Matthias Cunha, 5 out of 10. He worked hard. He dropped deep. He tried to connect the attack. But the problem is, if Cunha keeps dropping, there is nobody left in the box. I still think he's better playing behind a natural number 9. 5 out of 10. Now the substitutes. Lisandro Martinez. 4.5 out of 10. He is still coming back. He did not look fully sharp. His timing and recovery pace were not there yet. But I would not judge him too harshly. He needs minutes. 4.5 out of 10. Diogo Dalot. 4.5 out of 10. He came on when the team was already losing control. He did not stabilize the right side. He was dragged out of position several times. 4.5 out of 10. Kabi Menu. 6 out of 10. I actually like some of what I saw. Clean touches. Confidence under pressure. Good body positioning. He still needs fitness. But his return is important for the midfield. 6 out of 10. Shea Lacey. 5.5 out of 10. He wanted the ball. He was brave. He tried things. The talent is obvious. But physically and tactically, he still needs time. 5.5 out of 10. Marcus Rashford. 4.5 out of 10. A very interesting return. But if we ignore the story and judge only the performance, it was not enough. He had opportunities. He did not take them. He disappeared from the game at times. I am not writing him off. But if he wants to become a starter again, he needs to show a lot more. 4.5 out of 10. Brian Bumo, 5 out of 10. He came on when United had already lost control. He did not receive enough good service, though he had very little chance to influence the game. 5 out of 10. And now Michael Carrick. 5 out of 10. The starting plan was not bad. In fact, United looked good early. But once Amorim identified the weakness, Carrick did not fix it quickly enough. Milan kept attacking the same spaces. And after multiple substitutions, United lost even more structure. That is the biggest criticism. Because in the Premier League, teams will do exactly the same thing. If they find a weakness, they will attack it again, and again, and again, until you solve it, or until you lose. That is the lesson Carrick has to take from this game. Now let's give Amorim some credit. Milan did not panic when they went behind. They stayed with the plan. They kept using the wide areas. They kept creating overloads. They kept attacking United's weak side. And when they realized where the space was, they did not stop. That is good coaching. Find the weakness. Attack it. Force the opponent to respond. And if they do not respond, punish them. That is exactly what Milan did. So yes, Amorim got the better of his former club. And yes, he probably enjoyed it. Maybe a little too much. But football is football. He found the solution. Carrick did not. So what do we learn from this game? Manchester United still have positives. Dorgu was excellent. Maguire remains dangerous from set pieces. Tielemans helps the build-up. Menu is back. Martinez is back. Rashford is back. But the biggest issue is still the same. Manchester United are too vulnerable when they lose the ball. And if that does not change before the Premier League starts, better teams will punish them even harder. This was preseason. The next games will not be. There will be points at stake. Pressure, expectation, and no excuses. So for me, the biggest question now is simple. Does the board look at this and decide United still need another signing? A left back? A center back? Or a defensive midfielder? If it is my decision, I'm looking at midfield first. Because United do not just need more running. They need more control. And Amorim's Milan just showed them exactly why. So let me know what you think. Who was Manchester United's worst player? Should Patrick Dorgu start the first Premier League game? Should Bruno Fernandes remain the first-choice penalty taker? And most importantly, did Ruben Amorim simply win a friendly? Or did he just give Michael Carrick a tactical lesson before the real season begins? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. More Manchester United news, analysis, and post-match reaction is coming soon. See you in the next one.